Right now, a lot of FGC sees EndingWalker as that guy who, the almost chat, like, oh my god, the almost legendary run, the so good, but he couldn't clutch it out, you know what I mean? Which means there's no pressure on him. The weight is off. There's no more expectations after that. That is ideal condition. Psychologists call this low expectation performance boost. When pressure is fear is internal. When external expectation is low and only pressure is your own, that's way easier to control than a team, on your back. EndingWalker now walks at the Capcom Cup with, a nothing to lose mindset. Those are the most dangerous killers, As long as Ryu doesn't get nerfed, I think he'll be fine. He's What's up, party people? Welcome back to our ranked adventures with the Society app, except for this time there's not going to be much ranked adventure going on because I'm going to be talking about EndingWalker's crazy run in the European Street Fighter League that happened last week, I believe. So, EndingWalker's dominance was something to behold, man. If you haven't watched these matches yet, these are some of the best matches in Street Fighter 6 you're gonna see around. If you check the postseason results of SFL Europe already, you saw EndingWalker went undefeated through the league, carried his team to the grand final, but ultimately fell short against the angriest of birds. Shoutouts to Angry Bird, one of the GOATs of all time. On paper, that might look like heartbreak, but losing finals hurts. But there's a deeper psychological truth in that defeat and a bigger picture unfolding, because the EndingWalker did this season isn't just a hot streak. It's a mindset, and the mindset might just carry him all the way to the big $1 million. So the 10-0 run, evidence of focus, consistency, and mental forward. Let's start with the stats. During the league phase, EndingWalker went 10-0, dominating set after set with his Ryu, scoring a mountain of points for his team. That ain't luck. That's consistency. You call this game random? Nah, bro. That's execution. That's mental stability and psychology. There's a concept called flow state. When skill level and challenge level line up just right, the brain locks in, distractions fade, and performance becomes smooth, almost automatic. For weeks, EndingWalker lived in that flow. Well, not for weeks. Usually it would be for weeks. They'd stretch it out. It was like in 2 days they did Street Fighter League this weird, which is kind of weird. But he managed pressure. He closed rounds. He delivered when it counted. He was the anchor. His run demonstrated that he could survive not just in casual sets, but under the structured competitive conditions where a single mistake might not just cost you the game, but your whole team the game for his whole season, which, is weird because it was like 3 days long, but, welcome to Street Fighter League Europe. That kind of nerve under pressure time after time is the foundation champions are built off of. So losing in the final doesn't make him soft. It makes him human, hungry. Then came the final, facing Angry Bird in a winner-take-all high-pressure set. EndingWalker lost brutally, and it hurts. Some people see that and think he cracked. I see something else. You see data, feedback, and feel. In psychology, this is called error-based learning. Intense failure triggers a deeper level of cognition and memory encoding. When you lose in high-stakes environment, your brain burns that memory hard and doesn't forget. Where most people would crumble, choke, or tilt, EndingWalker's loss gives him a map. He knows exactly what didn't work. He knows the psychological terrain of finals, nerves, desperation, self-doubt, momentum swings. He's, now this is just Capcom Cup training, He's still standing after this. Now he's going to be ready for the next time, If he uses this defeat not as a wound, but as a tool, that means come Capcom Cup, when underdog, hunger, nerves, and mental weight combine, he'll be more prepared than anyone who's ever tasted real defeat under lights. This isn't just about talent, it's about mindset. Look around the FGC. We've got so many skill players, flashy players, tons of mechanics, but rarely do we see the combination of skill, mental resilience, and consistency. That's what champions are made of. That's what Kakeru is made of. That's what Mina is made of. And now EndingWalker is going to be on that list as well. That's psychological, because survival in fighting games isn't just about reactions or read. It's about managing emotions, pressure, anxiety, ego, expectation. That's where many players choke, myself included. Not because they don't know the game, but because their minds fold. EndingWalker has shown 3 key traits: consistency under pressure, a 10-0 run, ability to bounce back mentally, understanding of tournament rhythm, team format, and anchor pressure. You can handle the pressure. Those traits matter more than any gimmick or tech, because when lights are bright at Capcom Cup, the crowd noise crushes your skull like a hydraulic press. Your brain, not your reflexes, will win you the match. The psychological advantage of everyone thinks you're done. Here's the little dirty psych trick that I love as a fan. When people expect you to choke, you don't have to prove them wrong. You just have to be calm, focused, and do your job. Right now, a lot of FGC sees EndingWalker as that guy who, the almost chat, like, oh my god, the almost legendary run, the so good, but he couldn't clutch it out, you know what I mean? Which means there's no pressure on him. The weight is off. There's no more expectations after that. That is ideal condition. Psychologists call this low expectation performance boost. When pressure is fear is internal. When external expectation is low and only pressure is your own, that's way easier to control than a team, on your back. EndingWalker now walks at the Capcom Cup with, a nothing to lose mindset. Those are the most dangerous killers, As long as Ryu doesn't get nerfed, I think he'll be fine. He's got his anchor experience. Let's get concrete. EndingWalker's runs Ryu. We know Ryu. We've talked about Ryu enough. Everything is an option when it comes to Ryu. Ryu kills you. That's what happens. He's got mastery of neutral with this character. He's got some crazy conversions, some filthy technology, some just stuff that makes me never want to play this game again whenever I watch him play this character. That's the kind of toolkit you need at Capcom Cup stage. That's the Kakeru effect. That's the Mina effect. We've covered these players again because they're in the same ilk. If Capcom Cup becomes a survival of mentally fittest event, EndingWalker already has the training. I can see him and Mina in the grand finals right now. Maybe Angry Bird, honestly. That would be, another storyline if we saw that in the finals. Could you imagine? So yeah, he is my pick to win Capcom Cup. He lost the final, big whoop. He lost to Angry Bird. I don't see it happening a second time. He's gonna train, but so is Angry Bird. You can't discredit Angry Bird's run either, you know what I mean? But all my chips are on EndingWalker. He's proven consistent across sets, his nerves, his anchor pressure, the lead carry, the anchor. He's just, he's mentally battle tested. That loss will make him better. That last loss, he was so close. It'll make him better, not bitter. He's playing a character that will win Capcom Cup as well. If Ryu does not get touched, this character will win Capcom Cup. I could almost guarantee it at this point. Either that or Mina's going to win again. Or, you know what I mean? Or a Bison's going to win. Xiaohai's going to come out of left field and win because those characters are obnoxious. He's got nothing left to prove to critics, you know what I mean? Which means he plays for himself, not for hype or fear, Maybe if he did win that full run all the way and he got the last win versus Angry Bird, maybe the pressure would be, higher. That's why we covered the other psychological aspects of it. But right now it's just a test of, his mind, heart, and nerves. And in that arena, I believe EndingWalker is going to be, you don't want him in the pool. He's going to be the most dangerous name locked in that event. Like I said, the only people I put on the pedestal with him right now is Mina, is Angry Bird, and Kakeru if he was still around. You know what I mean? So why you should root for this guy? EndingWalker has given us the story right now. Not because he's trying to, but because that's what's happening when you let skill meet heart and heartbreak and meet reflection, and reflection meets cold hard training and grinding. When he comes back to Capcom Cup and wins, that win will taste sweeter than anything on planet Earth. So, final notes. Yes, that last loss sucked. Yes, we all wanted to see the dream run, Yes, the title slipped out of his hands just so close, but the story isn't over. This is the beginning of a brand new storyline. EndingWalker didn't prove he's unbeatable. He's proved he's persistent. He's proved he's human. He proved he's dangerous when he's got nothing to lose. If you ask me, I love chaos, I love risk, and I love a good story. This guy is Capcom Cup ready, not because he's perfect, because he's real, because he's broken, because he's hungry, man. He's climbing for it. The sun rises on the biggest Street Fighter 6 stage of the year. I want to be watching the guy who's already stared at defeat, counting his losses and decide to fight smarter, cleaner, harder, because that I will be paying the $40 for Capcom Cup. I gotta watch this guy win it all. Oh my god, gotta watch EndingWalker. Gotta back him. Gotta pay the $40 because this run isn't over. It's just getting started. I am the Depressed Gamer. I need you all to be good to yourselves. Please like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate every single one of you. If you stuck it out this long, you liked something about the video, hit that subscribe button. You know how she goes, but need you all to be good to yourselves. Keep on struggling. I think I already said that. I'll see you in the next one.